All the ways bring you back to me, my dear. So good to see you all again. Hey there. Have you ever stayed overnight in a mountain forest? Have you ever slept out in the open air? What took place during your night's repose? Let me know in the comments below. My older cousin was used to hiking and climbing every now and then. He believed there was nothing to be compared with the freshness of conifers early in the morning, particularly after rain. His hobby, or perhaps his daily task, was collecting pine nuts, what in fact he used to carry out with great relish, though it might take up the whole day. Oftentimes he did his job on his own, except for the days when the trees hailed the ground with nuts excessively. Just then he asked for a hand, and that was a close friend of his. That morning was pretty much like all those early ones he used to wake up in. Armed with a few cloth sacks, he set out to stuff them full. His friend was wide awake and fully equipped for a day-long trip. As the two headed uphill, the scent of pines filled the air, and the higher they were, the heatier it was. On the way up, they witnessed the sunrise at its original beauty, the rays like swords fighting the night off. A bird song from the heart of the forest proclaimed ultimate victory of the light over the night. It was drizzling somehow, but no way at all it could get them frustrated, as they both were aimed at success. Up there, among tall trees, there was no need to watch their feet as they moved along. The whole area was bombarded with pine cones all over the visible ground. They got to work with vim and vigor, no haste at all, as all the time in the world was theirs. The sacks were getting swollen one by one, piled up one onto another, and that way all the day through. The rain was long gone, and the blue sky above was crested with the 7 colors of a celestial blessing. The maids were engrossed in what they'd been doing for hours, yet never forgetting the manners. They weren't intent on robbing all the treasury the forest possessed, just as much as 2 men were able to carry with them, leaving the rest of it untouched, to be consumed thereafter by those who dwelled in there. As the sun rolled westward, it was time to call it a day and make tracks for home. However, overly carried away, they'd missed the moment of the sky getting painted in the colors of the night. Going down wasn't that secure as it was while going up, so both agreed to stay there overnight. They knocked on wood so as to keep rain away. The sleeping bags they had brought out with them came in handy, as well as the box of matches to start a fire, as it was getting chilly hour by hour. The heat of the fire was pretty enough, but the friends made up their minds to warm themselves up with a little bit of bread and thank the forest's bounty at the same time. As said, provide with wine, and we'll know what to drink it to. The tipsy Douay, both with mouths open, were sound asleep to the crackle of the fire. The night was long and lulling, fresh breeze caressing. No sharp ear could ever detect the noiseless approach of something awake, let alone that of a drunk one. It was too thin and short to feel anything. At the crack of dawn, the two were aroused from sleep by another morning birdsong. The air around was saturated with the smell of pine, refreshing and energizing. The way down now seemed to be an easier thing to deal with. On the way down, one of them got dizzy at times, eyes got blurred, so he had to ask for his friend's hand to make it through. At home, my cousin hid the sack for a little longer, just to know better what could be done with so much good. Thus, he slept the whole morning away, awoke after noon for some lunch. Once he was done with his meal, he tackled the time-consuming task, as there was nobody around to help him out. He was doing great for some time until everything started getting all mixed up due to fatigue, and he could no longer tell good knots from bad knots, so it was the right decision to take a break. He thought to drop in on his mate to see how it was going there. There was no reaction to him tapping on the door, so he entered and found the friend of his on the couch with a sickly complexion, hugging a bucket. As he explained, some sickening feeling inside had been haunting him since early in the morning, and which he could get rid of by no means. My cousin tried to calm him down and reassure him that he might have taken cold, as they had passed the night shelterless. He offered him some hot milk, promising it would make him feel so much better. He got the biggest mug ever and served it to the patient. After a few sips, the poor thing was about to throw up. Excuse my French, but he didn't. If you're impressionable, do me a favor and stop watching here. He bowed his head over the hot steam of the drink and was breathing it in. He could sense something getting up to his throat, like the smell of the milk was tempting it out. With a slight push of the larynx, it was out at last. A thin and short grass snake plopped into the milk, taking the Malays along. That's it. I'll gladly read your thoughts left below, so welcome. Thanks for being with me, and again, you'll make it worth if you like this video. To stay with me, subscribe and give the notification bell icon a gentle tickle.